Surprises me that anybody is able to do it, but it doesn't surprise me that Cal was the guy. And it ain't going to happen again. Count on it.
Buck Showalter before the game talking about Cal's mark, of course, and Cal joining us here. Good to see you.
I told him to say that today.
Did you? He said it really well. He also said once he saw you play in the minors, he knew he wasn't going to be a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, we do go all the way back to Double-A. I think he actually won the batting title that year in Double-A.
Did he really?
He could hit.
Wow. Cal joining us here on this anniversary date. This was the day, of course, you tied Lou. As time goes by, 15 years, I mean, that doesn't seem possible. Does the memory change a little bit for you about, do you remember more or less things that happened? Think about it more or less?
You know, I have my own memory from inside my cleats from that night, and I like to preserve that as best I can. But then when you see the replay of the game and then other people talk to you about their experiences, yeah, it broadens over time.
Yeah.
I took, the car that the Orioles gave me that night would have been a Chevy Corvette, but then I took a Tahoe because that's more my style. I drove that to the ballpark today.
Did you?
And so so it feels like you're going back in time. I mean, and so I drove it to the ballpark and almost felt like you're coming to the ballpark again around that time frame. So it was really cool.
Good for you. And it had been in the garage for 15 years and hadn't used it, right?
It's well kept, and it's in the garage. And we're actually thinking about a few things to raise money for the foundation. So I think we might have a few ideas for that car to raise some money for the Cal Senior Foundation.
Good for you. Runner on at first base here with the base hit is Bartlett. Jaso grounded out his first time up, back to the top of the order for Tillman. You heard what Buck had to say, and I mean, everybody feels. Do you feel the same way? I mean, nobody's going to get that mark again, huh?
Well, I mean, I do have a different perspective because I did it. And so if I can do it, certainly somebody else can. But, I mean, it's going to take someone that's persistent, someone that has their dad that's on the bench for at least 11 of those years, making sure that you do the right thing.
Beautiful double play turned right there on the 3-6-1, 2 down.
That was a nice double play.
It's pretty good, huh? Ty Wigginton has really developed over there at first base and getting it done. How much did it matter that Dad was on the bench? I mean, what was the impetus, the extra impetus?
Well, I mean, I didn't set out to break this record. I wasn't obsessed with Lou Gehrig. It was a right way to approach the game, and Flanny knew this from Dad. You come to the ballpark and you're ready to play, and if the manager wants you to play, then you give it the best you can. And the managers created that streak by my willings to play. And I was fortunate enough to be like Eddie Murray in the middle of the lineup that they wanted me to play every day. So,
That one in the air to right. Nick Markakis going back and looking, and goodbye, home run.
I can still recognize that sound of the bat.
Boy, you didn't even have to look. That is Zobrist who delivers the solo shot. Then Zobrist will get him on the board, and it is a 2-1 ball game for Zobrist. That is his 8th home run of the season.
That certainly happens a lot here. When somebody turns a double play, and I don't know from a pitcher's perspective, but from an infielder's perspective, everybody seems to breathe a sigh of relief, and then all of a sudden, bam,
relax
ball goes out of the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm used to you and Eddie behind me yelling, uh-oh. Eddie used to have that high-pitched scream when they would head for the right field seats.
I remember that well, too. Yeah.
Thanks.
1-0 count on Carl Crawford here. Base is empty, so it is a 2-1 ball game. Crawford had a triple his first time up.
All your homers were solos, though, weren't they?
Right, all 480 of them.
He told me that. So that's true, huh?
Yeah.
They were all solo shots?
He bared down.
Many of them
got on base.
Yeah. I get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that'll be fouled away. Did you have any understanding with your dad that you talked about as to playing every day when it got to the point where you could see the numbers in front of you? Did he say it's up to you?
No.
Son, you want to come out, you tell me, or not?
No, I mean, Dad was the one that broke the inning streak. Remember that long inning streak? I played 5 years of my not coming out of an inning, any blowout game, either for us or against us. And Dad was the one that set me down on the bench in Toronto. We gave up 10
home
runs.
run game.
And Ernie Witt, I think, hit 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what do you think about coming out for an inning? And I go, what do you think? And he said, I think it'd be a good idea. So I said, okay. And that was the only conversation. It really was a matter of pride to be an everyday player. And the definition of an everyday player is coming out there to meet the challenges each and every day, and it turns out to be 162 in the schedule. I never really thought that 158 was different than 162. If you can do 158, you certainly can do 162, and you might get a few more hits if you go out there for the 4 games.
Yeah. Well, you certainly did that. A great ovation again here. The love of the fans have for you is obvious. Cal, always great to see you, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you. It was a wonderful ovation.
Really
made me want to come back in some ways.
Just drive it right out.
Come on.
All right, Cal joining us here, and this is the anniversary date when he tied Lou Gehrig's mark for consecutive games.